What is up, cinephiles? Welcome back to Screen Kings. Today's video is all about my non-spoiler review for Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, directed by David Yates. This is now the third film in the Fantastic Beasts franchise, and needless to say, you need to watch the first two films first before heading into this. You don't need to be an expert in all things Harry Potter, but those two films are really essential because you will have no clue what's going on if you haven't seen them. Anyway, having said that, I think I've only seen Crimes of Grindelwald, which is part 2, a few hours before my theatrical screening for this latest installment, because I remember it coming out and having so much mixed reviews that it just slipped through my head. So in here, I think it worked to my advantage that I'm coming off fresh from the Crimes film, because there's so many characters and it didn't take much of my brain cells to remember them. So anyway, the story here takes place in the 1930s, right in the middle of Great Depression in the human world, but most of the story is taking place on the wizarding world. As we might have known by the end of part 2, Grindelwald has amassed huge number of followers. They are intending to raise pure-blood wizards to rule over the non-magical beings. But Albus Dumbledore, who is the future head of the Hogwarts in the Harry Potter films, makes an effort to thwart their plans. So he enlists Newt Scamander, his former student, and a bunch of other wizards. They must band together to stop the forces of Grindelwald, and with that, loyalties will be tested, lines will be drawn, and the wizarding world will be as divided as ever. Now, there is an element of heist into this movie, which I enjoyed. Not an Inception level of heist, but basically the good side, they need to outwit the bad side in the possibility of outcomes of their plans. But first, let's go to my main positive. It's visual effects. The CGI magic that comes along when it comes to the execution of these fantastic action sequences and all the beautiful species that will be featured in this movie. I think the VFX team really did a great job, and just like every year, I think the first two films are nominated for an Oscar. I mean, it's too early to say, but this one has another strong chance of getting a nomination. So that in itself should be an incentive for you to go watch this on the biggest screen that you can find. The most memorable scene for me in this movie is the one that's featured in the trailer, where Newt and his brother Theseus are trying to escape this cave when suddenly they are bombarded by these little crabs and they need to dance around in sideways. So I thought that was fun. But yeah, I thought this film is a vast improvement compared to the second installment, which is a bit of a slug. I think this movie starts to find the fun again and the magic. And of course, I have to add James Newton Howard, and his musical score is as rousing as always. I felt like this installment is a welcome course correction, because Crimes of Grindelwald felt like it's steering away to the main conflict. There's an introduction of unnecessary and too complex subplots that's just confusing to the audience. And admittedly, third film kind of inherited those storylines because they can't just drop them out of nowhere. They need to continue those storylines, but I felt like they're starting to put a closure to those storylines, and I hope it's for the good, because they're not really interesting. They need to scale down the characters here. Part 1 worked for me because we have only 4 of the main core characters. Newt, Tina, who is not in here that much, but maybe it's for the best, and then Queenie and Jacob. So honestly, those 4 characters are the ones that I truly care about in this franchise. And maybe add Dumbledore here because Jude Law is excellent. I love the seriousness in his role, and there's a touch of levity in his performance. But I think moving forward, I will be needing less of him and more of the Fantastic Beast here, because what are the secrets of Dumbledore? I have only counted 2 secrets here. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not gonna say what they are, but the first secret here is something that's speculated by the fans already. It's just not directly confirmed, so it gets directly confirmed in the first few minutes of the movie. And the second secret here has something to do with the reveal towards the end of the Crimes of Grindelwald, where Credence Barebone, played by Ezra Miller, is actually a Dumbledore. Is he really related to the Dumbledores? We will find out in this movie. So Apart from that, there's not much secrets here, but regardless, I had a good time watching this. Now, what I want moving forward is for the franchise to focus more on Newt, because Newt is always being constantly compared to Harry Potter, and I didn't need him to be as impressionable or even better than Harry Potter, because I like his personality, that he's meek, he's kind, but righteous. Like, it's giving spotlight to all of the Hufflepuffs out there. What I need from him is to own his story. Like, I feel like the franchise is not building a story around him. It's more of building a prequel, a backstory to Dumbledore, and he is only in service of that main story. When I first watched Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, my vision for this movie moving forward is to have Newt go around the world, maybe different continents, discover new fantastic species. Hence, as a prequel, I think it serves its purpose, but as a Fantastic Beast franchise, it still feels like it's not living itself to its full potential. But anyway, let's talk about the other characters here. Of course, Dan Fogler as Jacob remains to be the fan favorite here. I love his comic timing and his comic delivery, and you just admire this character for his love and devotion to Queenie. So all of the Jacob and Queenie shippers out there, I think their love angle is handled more delicately here. And then let's talk about Mads Mikkelsen, who plays Grindelwald. I think I like his performance more than Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp's look, it's very otherworldly, it's very villain-like, but without the white makeup on Mads Mikkelsen, it feels more grounded. I can feel his sadness, and maybe there is an inherent value watching this actor play on screen, because I watched this TV show called Hannibal and I'm truly terrified by this character. So he feels more compelling and he adds more gravitas to the story for me. Now, another major character here is Credence Barebone. Initially, when this character came out in the first film, I felt like he has the potential to have this full-blown villain arc, but over time, I'm starting to lose interest in this character. So the fact that he has not much of an involvement in this movie, I didn't mind, though if this is his swan song, it is underwhelming. I don't think the producers are going to invite Ezra again after news about his personal behavior. Just scour the internet for news. I'm not gonna discuss it here. Also, I don't think the franchise will do another recasting, so I think this might be it for Credence here. Anyway, as I've said, this franchise needs to scale down on the characters, because moving forward, they're going to introduce more characters and they have to end the storylines for some. But yeah, overall, I think this installment is able to find that magic again that it partially lost in part 2. It has heart, it has humor, I think the banter is bubbly, the action sequences are nearing that fantastic. I mean, it has its work still ahead of it to be at least at par with the Harry Potter films, but I appreciate the themes that they have here, mature themes. When it comes to the marriage of wizards and muggles, it parallels the forbidden interracial relationships back then, and with the movie being set in Germany, and there's some discussions about eradicating the mortals, it feels like I'm getting vibes of Nazis versus Jews, so I can see what they're doing here. And overall, I think they did a good job in refocusing the story here. So for now, for this chapter, it's all about Grindelwald versus Dumbledore. So I'm gonna give this a 3.5 out of 5. I had a fun time watching this movie. My main concern though is, since it's getting 2 more films compared to the original plan, which is just 3 films, I really thought that they could drop things here and the saga. If they're going to extend the main conflict here, I don't want to get the same beats of story over again. So they need to change up something, because as far as I'm concerned, the next 2 movies, I start to perceive them as some sort of a cash grab for Warner here. So I hope I will be proven wrong. But how about you guys? Let me know what you think about Fantastic Beasts: Secrets of Dumbledore. Hit them in the comment sections down below. Also, if you enjoyed watching this video, hit that like and subscribe to me for weekly reviews of movies and TV shows. Thank you so much guys for watching. Until then, I'll see you all on the next one.